Hello, I'm Dr. Paul, and I want to show you how to make my hydration drink. So here's my supplements. Okay, in this, I have two. I have a whole storage of supplements because we test people's blood work and put them on tailored supplements. But here's my supplements that I test. I don't take all of these, so I muscle test each day when I can. But I have different supplements in here, and so I add for my hydration. Remember, you got the main minerals for electrolytes, and if you go to the hospital emergency room, they'll put you immediately on electrolytes every single time. Why is that? Because you need to be hydrated when you're in an emergency situation. Either you're not hydrated, or there's something that will be affected by you not healing if you don't do minerals. So they put hydration minerals, saline solution in your bloodstream. And so my son had a situation where he had pain that morning, and he almost went into the ambulance, but I said no because he was fine. All his vital signs were fine. But then later that day, he said, "Dad, I can't see. I can't see." I got so scared. We went to the hospital. We started going to the hospital, and then I asked him, "How much did you drink today?" He goes, "Nothing." So I said, "Drink some water." And so on the way to the hospital, he drank water, and he was fine after that. So his eyes were not, he was getting probably losing consciousness because he was blacking out, I think, because he was dehydrated. So what are the major electrolytes for hydration? Okay, let's go over that. Here is my potassium, if you have a lot of supplements that need to organize, I like this format. You get this at my office where you label it here, so this supplement potassium is related to this right here, and I put the milligrams, so it's 99 milligrams per pill. And you need, I think it's more than 2,000 or 3,000 milligrams of potassium every day. Do we get it? Not enough. So coconut water is awesome for that, and sometimes you can add that to electrolyte drink. It's kind of expensive, so I don't do it every day, but it is loaded with potassium, and it's a whole food, so it has lower risk of diabetic issues, though there is sugar in there, and I like the taste. So either do that or potassium pill, which is in my box. I'd like to do here, I like to add this either fermented or non-fermented beets for your heart health, for multiple different things, including liver health. Here are the electrolytes that I use. I love this. And, I'm not a big fan of natural flavors, but it is what it is, right? I mean, you can do the best that you can, but this here has natural flavors. And, ultimately, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a flavor person. I would like not for it to have natural flavors because I don't know what they put in there. However, I think the pros outweigh the cons. I'm gonna get my hydration in. I'm gonna get vitamin C. This is just a little. The main parts are calcium, magnesium, sodium, and potassium. You can see the more milligrams, the more substance. Obviously, there's a little vitamin C. People need 2,000 to 4,000 a day, in my opinion, based on blood testing. Their immune systems, all our immune systems are shot. Then you got vitamin B6. They only put a little in it. It's a coenzyme type thing. When you have vitamins, basically it makes things work better. Vitamin B12, only a little bit 6. I recommend usually about 2,000 per day for most based on blood testing. But then the main ones are calcium, magnesium. So it got 30 calcium, 40 magnesium, 90 sodium, and 260 potassium. If you don't have carbs, you need sodium. People that lose weight on our program, we add sodium because they get dehydrated because their electrolytes are flushing out with being in ketosis. And so I don't do that many carbs. On the weekends at church, I do sometimes carbs, but daily I don't do a lot of carbs. But so I have to have extra minerals or I get cramps. So you have to have electrolytes for everything, including heart rate and everything in health. So this is part of the mix. If you want, you don't have to swallow probiotics, but I use Designs for Health probiotics. I swallow because I have no issue with swallow, but you can open that up and put it in your mix. Here's another source of potassium right there. You can do that one, or I use NutriCost as well. And I put magnesium citrate in there. If I tend towards constipation, so I use magnesium citrate, but that's a great source of magnesium. And then I put some kind of green, either the essential greens and reds from Designs for Health, which has a load of stuff, right? Greens and reds. You got greens, vegetables, and reds. Apple, raspberry, cranberry, blueberry. And then I either do that or I do organic chlorella from Nutricost. That is a great heavy metal chelator, but it doesn't chelate heavy metals, the other heavy metals. So the heavy metals are lead, cadmium. They don't chelate that. I use a program that I chelate, which is another video. But this is for daily small amounts of chelation from the other heavy metals. And then I put calcium hydroxyapatite because I like the hydroxyapatite version. It's from bone, and it has all the minerals from bone-derived collagen. Okay, 25%, 26% collagen, but it's grass-fed bovine derived bone to provide for you not only calcium, but phosphorus. And it even has a little protein in 4 capsules. It has a little bit of sodium. So this is my go-to. And then I always add additional vitamin C. You can do this version right here. This has ribose, which is great for your Krebs cycle. Okay. And so it has 4,000 milligrams of vitamin C. And just be careful. If you're sensitive to vitamin C, it can cause soft stools. So I never get soft stools from that. So for people that are super sick, I barrage them with vitamin C and other nutrients as well that are based on the blood work. That's how you do the electrolyte drink. What I do is I put a scoop of each of the powders. This is just nothing. Basically, that's a baking soda that I clean things with. But I put a scoop of each. Potassium, I muscle test, but if you do 200 to 300 milligrams, you'll probably be safe. I usually do 1 probiotic per day, and sometimes I use 2. I do 1 or more scoops of the electrolyte drink, depending on, if I'm sweating that day or not. Working outside, I do 1 scoop of the beets, and I do 2 per person of the calcium. And I mix it all up. I like using the Vitamix, but you can shake it up pretty well in a shaker bottle this is an ideal protein shaker bottle. If it has a little, no, this is another brand, Tosi. If you use a blender, a little circular stainless steel blender, and you shake it up pretty well, you can do the shake that way or the electrolyte drink that way. Remember, there's powders. This doesn't blend very well, so you have to shake it up really well so you don't get any chunks. If you don't mind the chunks, it just as well. I tried to give this to my 12-year-old daughter, and soon she liked the taste, but as soon as she felt the chunk, she kind of grossed out. So that's how you make the hydration drink. And I drink it throughout the whole day. And when it gets and I put it in a thermos so it stays cool. And depending on how cold you want it, you put the ice in there. Otherwise, you can drink it. If you keep it in ice, it lasts longer. But drink it by the end of the day, and now you're fully hydrated. And that's how I make my electrolyte drink. God bless you. See you on the next video.